You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. Doesn't look like we have any new callers, but we do have is Peter Thomas. What's going on, man?
Ryan, it's Peter Thomas.
What's up?
Oh, my God. That Trucker Bob song you created is pure genius. Comedy. Unbelievable. Now I have all the thoughts in the entire world on what Trucker Bob listens to on his travels across the United States. Awesome. Dude, you should do that for every single Packernet guy who calls in.
I intend to.
Do one for Jersey Mike. Do one for Joe the Janitor. Hell, do one for me for all I care.
Yep. It's going to be symphonic. You know
I'm loving every minute of it. All right, later.
I mean, some of them would be harder than others. I mean, obviously, you mentioned some that would be a little easier, which is what I'm starting with. You know what I mean? I mean, Kyle from Madison probably calls more than anybody, but he's one of the harder to kind of. There's no like stereotype to attach to. Like he's a Madisonite. Like, yeah, what does that mean? I don't know. But like you're in the like, you know, I actually think that'd be kind of cool to listen to. I also am trying to work through our draft class. Like I teased that I've got a Kalen King song. I actually just went back and found it and listened to it. And I'm like, you know, I hate to do it, but I think I can do better. And I should be just going faster through these so we can get through them, but I don't want to. I want it to be right. So I'm going to start over to try to get a different kind of sound to it. Kind of had a hard time getting it to understand. And maybe I just overestimated how angry you can make rap sound. Because I'm trying to get it, and I'm like, I just can't. And so I tried to go back and listen. I'm like, well, let me listen to some like Tupac or whatever. I'm like, it's not as angry as I was like envisioning. So I don't know. It's easier to just make metal angry. But yeah, I got to work through that Kalen King thing. I think I've gotten to the point where I've learned to make the lyrics a little bit better. I've learned some. It's the other thing. Like I'm actually learning a little bit about music. I'm like, what's that thing called where it's like, you know, you're like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 kind of stuff. Like what do you call that? Oh, that? Okay, yeah. So I need you to do, you know what I mean? Like I have to learn to be able to figure this stuff out. So it's kind of interesting. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it. As somebody who's never going to be talented enough to actually create music on his own without AI, I appreciate this because now I can actually kind of create it without having any talent whatsoever. Sorry to those of you that have talent. I'm sorry. At least for now, your music is still better. It's just going to take you a long time to make better music and, you know, give it about another 4 months and, yeah. I mean, you get it.
Ryan, this is Nico.
Hey.
I did not know you had a butt liquor song.
Yeah, dude. You missed that?
What? Man, I mean, people mention the Cricket song, which I like Cricket. I remember Cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket was awesome. Used to love Cricket, chirping in the background. But, and I've heard people mention it, but I just thought, maybe I didn't catch up to that podcast yet. And then, a couple weeks go by or however much time, and I guess I missed it. I think I think like 1265 mentioned, like if you go to sleep, sometimes some of these things will just keep playing the podcast. I think that's what happened.
You there?
I really want to hear the butt liquor song. I don't think I have the ability to go back and.
I know. I got to work on just putting them out somewhere.
So I'll
put them on YouTube somewhere. I know. I got to do it.
Things that I can't even say. I had that thing where I can't.
You're breaking up, so that's making it twice as bad.
You know, when the brain goes to work and. Hey, I never played, but I've got plenty of percussion. Can I get a check? No? Okay, never mind. But if you could maybe remind me where that one is. I'll go back and look. And also, it's not just me. There's probably a bunch of other clowns like me that maybe missed that podcast. Like, what? There's a butt liquor song. I want to hear the butt liquor song. I will make it my ringtone. If you could do that, that would be really cool. And by the way, whatever happened to cricket? I don't know if you ever, did you put out a bolo or something? I mean, did you swing by his house? Maybe you're like, hey, where's cricket? I mean, he couldn't have lived too far from you, for crying out loud. He was in your basement. Why can't he jump like I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm just out on a minute ago, and I'm only at 2 minutes, and like everyone else is running out of time in 3 minutes. I figured, I guess I could just ramble. But yeah, I would, if you could remind me what podcast the butt liquor song is from, I would love to go, and the cricket, I would love to go listen to it. If you remember, I missed it. Gosh, I freaking hate it when I miss stuff. Still enjoying. So I got 20 seconds left. Still enjoying the Bears fans all on the internet saying how they're going to win the Super Bowl and the North this year. Every time I just laugh. It's just, I can't. I'm assuming unless you've done it, I missed it, you're going to have a podcast where you just make them look stupid. I would like that. Can I put in your request for an anti-Bears podcast? Thank you. Go Pack Go.
So you're actually in luck, and this is going to help me down the line. Some of them I've saved on the computer, some of them not. But when I save the song, or when I play the song at the end, it actually saves that as like the title. And so I can see where the song was, what episode it was on. So it was the 2005 episode. I saved it on April 4th, which means it probably would be the April 5th episode. By the way, the name of the song, which I didn't create, the AI does it, it's called Buttlicker's Lament. So, actually, you know what? Let me do this, because I feel like it. I don't think anybody's actually going to care. If you don't watch The Office and you didn't find that funny, I don't know that this is going to save it. But let me do this. I'm going to play the original scene. Then we're going to get into the song. Again, I don't think I'm going to do the whole thing. We'll see how it goes. But then at least maybe you can understand where it's coming from. Because I tend to think this is one of the best scenes in The Office. I'll start a few seconds into this.
Boom. Yes. Now, Jim is going to be the client. Dwight, you're going to have to sell to him without being aggressive, hostile, or difficult. Let's go.
All right, fine. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, this is Dwight Schrute from the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company.
Wow, that's great, because I need paper.
Excellent, then you are in luck, because we are having a limited time offer only on everything.
Wow, this is my lucky day.
Ask him his name.
What is your name, sir?
I am Bill Buttlicker.
Really, that's your real name?
How dare you? My family built this country, by the way.
Be respectful, Dwight, please.
Yes, Michael.
Could you hold on 1 second? That's my other line.
What? No, but I...
Hello? Yeah. No, I'm just on the phone with this stupid salesman. He's so dumb. Probably just going to keep him on the line forever and not buy anything. Okay.
It's up to you to change his mind.
Sorry, that was a family emergency.
Oh, no, what's wrong?
You know what? That's private.
Boundaries, Dwight, come on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Buttlicker. As I was saying, we're having a
limited...
limited...
Speak up a little bit louder. I'm hard of hearing.
He's hard if he's an old man.
Okay, as I was saying, right now we are having...
talk louder.
Okay, our prices have never been lower.
Son, you have to talk louder.
Never been lower.
Louder, son!
Buttlicker, our prices have never been lower.
Stop it.
So you get the idea. And from that masterpiece comes this masterpiece.
What is your name, sir? I am Bill Buttlicker. Really? That's your real name? How dare you? My family built this country. By the way, be respectful, Dwight. Please. Yes, Michael. Could you hold on 1 second? That's my other line. Hello? Yeah? No. I'm just on the phone with this stupid salesman. He's so dumb. Probably just going to keep him on the line forever and not buy anything. Sorry, that was a family emergency. Oh no, what's wrong? You know what? That's private boundaries, Dwight. Come on. I'm sorry, Mr. Buttlicker. As I was saying, sorry, you just have to speak a little bit louder. I'm hard of hearing. As I was saying, you're gonna have to talk louder. Our prices have never been lower. Son, you have to talk louder. Never been lower. Louder, son. Buttlicker, our prices have never been lower.
And there you go. That's the whole song. So now you've heard it. And if you go back and find that episode, you can listen to it forever and forever and always. I haven't listened to it since, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Hey, Ryan, it's your uncle, Rico.
What's up?
It's Sunday. I don't even know what day it is. The 12th, I think? Sunday the 12th. Right. It's a beautiful day in southern Wisconsin. Anyways, I was just listening to the pod, and you're talking about, it's a couple, I mean, maybe a week or two behind, I don't even know, but talking about Kalen King, and you're talking about QB1 reaching out to the draftees, and that's awesome, but that's the way it should be, right? I mean, talking about that getting old and stale after he's a QB1 for years, and that'll wear off. I hope not. I hope it never wears off. I mean, his success is predicated on their success and vice versa, of course. So I hope he's smarter than the last QB1, less arrogant than the last QB1. You know what I'm saying? You got these, let's say you're a businessman and you own a business and you make widgets and you're up in your office doing your thing, but when you get a new hire, you go down and say, yo, I'm the owner, I own this joint, it's nice to meet you, glad to have you on board. Glad to have you on the team. I mean, guys do that, and that means something to employees, instead of turning their nose up. Oh, you're just a lowly punch press operator. I'm the one who writes the checks around here, gets your work done. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully QB1 J Love is smarter than some of the supposed super smart guys that were supposed to be super smart, but really they're not so freaking smart because they didn't know how to win games, because they didn't know how to build teams, right? That's my thought. Go Pack, go. Love you, Ryan. I love you so much. Later. Go Pack, go.
It is funny that you mentioned that, actually, because I just had somebody, so very innocent thing, that when the Jared Goff thing came out, I just posted a little meme of a guy taking notes, the Jared Goff contract. And I just said Jordan Love, as in okay, he's keeping notes of who's making money and how much and all that. And of course, because these are just the most insufferable people in the world, rather than just moving on with our lives and just, accepting where we're at and everything, I get a comment about oh, Jordan Love's going to be an even more, a bigger diva or whatever than Aaron Rodgers. And people like this, they better stay consistent. You better be consistent with your criticisms. And then somebody else chimes in, yeah, I'm sure he'll be consistent. Right, Pack Daddy? It's like, all right, Jagoff, couple things. First of all, of course I would. Why would I not be consistent? I understand that their entire premise is they defend Aaron Rodgers no matter what, not because they actually agree with his conduct, but because of his stances on things. Now Rodgers can go out and do anything he wants, and I feel obligated to support him because he takes a stance that I agree with. I get it. But a lot of people are actually normal and don't operate that way, and I happen to be one of those people. So yes, if Jordan Love changes his demeanor and becomes a diva that does things that are detrimental to the team, I'm not going to like that. Why would you think that I would like that? Second of all, it's amazing to me that the person that put that can't see how absolutely ridiculous it is that they just said that. You're worried about me not holding a consistent stance? You just attacked Jordan Love for being a diva preemptively before he even got his contract. Behavior that you defended Aaron Rodgers for, and you're worried about me not being consistent. Are you kidding me right now? You defended Rodgers for being a diva, for doing really not great things, like the Randall Cobb thing. Can we revisit that for a second? Where he held the team hostage and said, I refuse to play for you people. And if you're going to bring me back, then I have a list of demands. One of those demands being you have to bring back Randall Cobb, not because he's the right guy for this offense, but because he's my friend and I have leverage and I'm going to use that to my advantage and to my friend's advantage to the disadvantage of the team. And we're going to pretend that's the good guy in this situation. That's the kind of stuff that you defend. But now you're calling Jordan a diva preemptively before he gets his contract, saying he's going to be an even bigger diva than Rodgers was. Well, that shouldn't be a problem for you because you seem to like that behavior. Anyways, and by the way, I've also already said on the podcast, already laid it out there, if that changes, he's on the outs with me. You know, let me preemptively say this, Jordan. Love you. Appreciate everything you did or will do for us in the very near future. All the many games won, hopefully at least a Super Bowl, maybe a couple. But as soon as you change and start attacking the team for reasons that are not justified, like being mean to your friends because they didn't pay a bunch of money to guys that don't deserve the contracts that you think they should be given, not because they actually deserve it, but because of their stature. When you start bringing in your friends to come play because you want to benefit your friends because you think it makes you the good guy in this situation, when in reality it's to the detriment of the team, which doesn't make you the good guy. When you start doing that stuff, I'm not going to take your side. I'm probably going to call you a couple names. I'm probably going to say that I'm hopeful for you to leave because of what you're doing to the team, to the locker room, to the culture. And I might even, be excited for your downfall when you inevitably go to the Jets and fail. So just so we're clear on where we stand right now, Jordan, and everybody else that thinks for some random reason that I'm going to be some kind of a giant hypocrite about this. But yes, to get back to what you're saying, I hope that you're right that these things don't necessarily materialize and that excitement level and all that kind of stuff doesn't ever go away and they just stay super pumped up and motivated and all that kind of stuff. I hope you're right. I hope that happens. I know for some people it does. That fire and that passion and that drive never go away and they just stay humble and stay grounded and stay grinding, as they say, as those kids are wont to say. Anyways, let's take a break. We'll come back and hear from Steve in Alaska. In the hobby, it's not easy being a fan of ripping packs or repacks. We get all hyped up thinking we're going to get some high-value Jordan Love card, but with zero transparency on available cards and hit rates, it's all just a shot in the dark. Until now, introducing slab packs from arenaclub.com, the only repack that provides real value, a complete view on all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. Now when I buy slab packs on Arena Club, it finally feels like I know what I'm getting. And honestly, the best thing for me and my son is the fact that we're kind of novices into this. When I walk into a card shop with my son, and a card says it costs $40, kind of just taking his word for it that that's a good value. So I appreciate the transparency on grading, as well as just getting excited about seeing what you could potentially get. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to arenaclub.com/packdaddy. Wow, that's crazy offer. 10% off a $400 slab pack. That's $40 right there. Anyways, that's arenaclub.com/packdaddy for 10% off your first purchase. We all have smartphones, and we all know they're pretty amazing, but they also can be amazingly distracting, especially when we're around other people. So US Cellular wants us to reset our relationship with our phones by putting down our phones for $5. That's right, a company that sells phones wants us to put down our phones. And to see what we find, learn more at uscellular.com/built for us.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com. You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
Hey Ryan, Steve up in Alaska.
Hey.
Sorry if I sound a little rough, but throat's a little scratchy. Got a bit of a cold going on, so don't sound as clear as I usually do.
Don't sound what?
But quick thing here. I'm kind of looking at some stuff, and I was thinking about our schedule and win-loss potentials, but I want to focus on just in the division. I'd like to know what your opinion, and I put this to everybody else, but your opinion and everybody else's opinion on what you think our potential is in the division. Looking at post-draft, well, not fully the free agent market, because there's going to be more free agent stuff and all that'll change. But giving us a basic look at it, I'm kind of saying that we got to win against the Vikings. I think we're going to end up with a split against the Lions. And really the control of the division comes down to whether we split with the Bears or beat the Bears. I don't think the Bears are going to beat us. And as I say these things, a win for us is we beat them twice. Split, we split. Lose, they beat us twice. I mean, I pretty much think that stuff. I don't know why I say it, but I'd like to hear what your opinion is, and I think that's a good poll question to put out there for everybody to see what we think the division record, not the overall team record is, but what we think right now is the division record after we've seen how the teams have been put together and the players we think we all have and what we're going to go into the season with are. All right, man. Other than that, y'all take it slow. We'll catch you later. Go Pack.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's mostly fair. I mean, you know, obviously flukes and things happen. You know, I mean, we could say the Vikings are the worst team in the division and we should be able to sweep them. We end up losing one to them and, you know, we end up sweeping the Lions. I mean, weird stuff happens. But I think what you're saying is more or less fair from a general where we standpoint. I think the expectation should be 2 wins against the Vikings based on where we stand now. Again, if J.J. McCarthy comes in and he's a stud, then whatever. But, and then as far as the Lions, yeah, I think splitting probably does more or less make sense. I've already said I think the Packers are a better football team, but not so much so that you assume a sweep. Beyond that, I mean, the Packers have been better than the Lions for decades, and over the last 5 or more years, we've had a really hard time beating them, even when they're just, everybody beats them except us, basically. And so, yeah, that does kind of come down to the Bears and a matter of, I mean, I could see a scenario where we sweep the division. The Vikings 0-2. The Bears, if they really, you know, I mean, if Caleb is not good, whether that's forever or just in year one or whatever, if he's just not a good football player, then we sweep the Bears. We do that every year anyways. And then it kind of comes down to the Lions. and a question of, we assume we'll probably win at least one. Can we possibly do both? I don't think it's super out of the realm of possibility. I think as we stand here today, I hate to say split with the Bears, but I think if you look at it and say, if we drop 2 to the division, that's somewhat acceptable. Whether that's 2 to the Lions and none to anybody else, or 1 to the Lions and maybe 1 to the Bears, again, makes me sick, but let's just assume they're actually starting to put it together. And obviously, again, leaving room for some flukes and whatnot, but I kind of feel like that's... I guess that's kind of where I stand on it. I would say 2 losses is sort of the point at which you look back and go, I guess that's okay. Worse than that, you're pretty upset, because now you're talking maybe losing twice to the Lions plus, to the Bears or Vikings or whatever, or you do split with the Lions, but you either lost 1 to the Bears and Vikings, which sucks, or 2 to one of the other teams, there's really no scenario where we drop 3 and you're like, yeah, that seems legit. No, it's not legit. That sucks. And then better than that, which is 1 loss or better, 1 or 0, certainly okay with that. So I would kind of say that's the line for me. Obviously with the goal being sweeping, and that's not pie in the sky. That's, we need to handle business against the Bears and the Vikings because we're better than them. And then when it comes to the Lions, it's just a matter of asserting your dominance. And last year, the way that the season ended, the Packers are significantly better than the Lions. They should be able to beat them twice.
Crap, man. I had to call back because I just realized that let's put a poll out there and suggested it, and I didn't fully give my explanation because I didn't really explain the Bears one. So, Minnesota, I think we beat them. I think we split with Detroit. And though I really, really hate to say it, I think we split with the Bears because I think they're going to have a little different wrinkle that might catch us off guard. And I think there's going to be some things that we're going to be doing differently because the league likes to make us play the Bears early. And that's when teams are still developing. So I don't think the Bears are going to be great. Trust me, I think we're still going to take them. But I think this year that we might split with them. So I say we're going to end up being 4-2 in the division. That's my call. So I'm in the books if you're going to keep track. All right, man. Bye.
Yeah, and that's more or less where I'm at with it. Being better than a team and sweeping a team are kind of different things. Again, flukes do happen. On some level, you do have to handle business. There's a reason why really good teams end up with 13-win seasons or whatever. It's because it's not like every week is a fluke. It's 50-50 any given Sunday. No, you're the better team. You're expected to win pretty much every week. And if you assume a really good team maybe loses 3 to 4 games, at least 2 of those, if not 3 or 4, end up being really good teams, meaning we're talking maybe once or twice a season you get these really big flukes. So the bottom line is there's a lot of reasons why the Packers wouldn't sweep, and there's certainly plenty of reasons why you could see them dropping 2. But on some level, if you're better, you got to handle business, and that's kind of where, for me, anyways, I'm going to draw the line at 2 and say beyond that, you're just not handling business, which means you're just not as good as you need to be, in my estimation. That or Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota, one of them ends up being significantly better than I'm currently expecting.
Hey, Ryan, this is Jersey Mike.
Hey.
So, I got a little question here. And this is very early, but I'm going to have to start game planning this if it's something I want to do. So, I have plans to come out for the 2025 NFL Draft there in Green Bay.
Sure.
We've been talking about having a meet up. And I just thought of something. Because I was you're going to know where this is going. I'm looking at Barstool reviews, and a good guy goes around the country and tries pizza everywhere and gives it a rating. And a while back you told me that you tried making yourself a pizza there, but you quite didn't have the oven with the dough and whatnot. So I had an idea.
All right.
I myself have a nice pickup truck. I was thinking about making a brick oven.
Yeah.
and somehow mounting it or attaching it or like keeping it in the back of my truck. So I could come up there with some New Jersey water and, make some pizza for everybody who was there. I mean, is that crazy? I got to figure out logistics. Like there's going to be some engineering that has to go into this, because if you think about it, trying to keep a brick oven pizza together going down the highway, you can't just necessarily keep it strapped down, because if you do, you hit a bump, you're going to crack everything.
Yep.
But if you just let it go flying all over the place, it's going to hit something, it's going to crack and break everything. So I've got to possibly come up with some kind of gyroscopic mount or some kind of spring-loaded mount where this brick oven can kind of rest on top of it and shimmy and shake around so that it don't break, and then, have it to be usable when I get to Green Bay. It's like 15 hours with the highway, and at least I know, like, Route 80 through Pennsylvania's got a bunch of potholes and garbage. So, yeah, it would have to be worth it, but if people actually legitimately want it, I'm down to build a brick oven pizza and then make some Jersey pizzas up in Wisconsin for the draft. So you let me know what you think. Go Pack Go.
Oh, I'm on mute. Not a bad idea. I mean, we absolutely need to make sure we can find a way. I don't know logistically how. Like, is there going to be a spot to just set up? It's going to be so crowded. Like if you tailgate, you can go somewhere and set up like coolers and grills and stuff. But there's a difference between how many people show up for a game and how many people are going to be there for the draft. And it's like, if people are shoulder to shoulder, like, excuse me, I got this giant pizza oven I want to put here in the middle of the street. I don't know if that's going to fly. So I don't know. I'm trying to imagine logistically, but it would be cool if we were able to kind of bring some grills out and do some kind of cool stuff that way. And obviously, if you wanted to bring your own pizza oven and ingredients to make some pizzas, certainly would have no issues with that. I don't know if we have any engineers listening to the podcast, but if we do, maybe we'll hook you up with Jersey Mike and you guys can figure out a solution. Otherwise, I don't know if they have any, they must have mobile pizza things, right? What are the people that have like trucks that drive around and sell pizza? They just use garbage. I'm not trying to insult you, Jersey Mike. I'm sure you have a very specific kind of oven that you've got envisioned in your mind here, but just trying to think through some ideas, But as for my part, would I be okay with you cooking pizzas for people? Yes. Also, Jersey Mike, you got to hook me up with your guy's number for those pizza crusts or pizza doughs, because I've been craving it. Like I said, I made it, and I'm sure it wasn't as good, but it's still really good. That dough is so good. I enjoyed making my own pizza. I want to make my own pizza again. And I go look on Walmart's website to see what they have, and it's like, oh, we got Pillsbury dough. We've got like this pre-made disc that you can buy and put sauce and cheese on. It's like, I can't. There's no way. I'm not doing that. So, you just gotta give me the guy's number or something, man. Just please. It was so good. All right, let's take our final break, and we'll come back and hear from Randy in Minnesota.
Have you ever experienced turbulence on a flight and wondered why?
And you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
No, everything's peachy.
Maybe you've sat on the tarmac for hours wondering why your plane isn't moving.
Well, we're outside here. They're saying the ramp is closed. They won't let us park because of Air Force One.
Listen in on the conversations between pilots and air traffic controllers on the Air Traffic Out of Control podcast.
510 Whiskey declaring an emergency. There's smoke in the cabin. I need to make a landing right now on 31 left.
We have the most interesting, wild, and funny ATC recordings you will ever hear. Check out Air Traffic Out of Control wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Hi, Ryan. It's Randy from Minnesota.
What's up?
I just want to say thank you for looking into the Vikings. I just listened to It's the Vikings' turn. That was outstanding. Apparently, I live around the people that you don't live around, the Viking fans, and what you read on air is what I'm hearing nonstop. So it was good to have a little reality check. When they're talking about their upcoming salary cap,
and I tell them, you still got to pay Jefferson. Oh, they keep always, that's going to be easy. We'll still have money. But then when I broach the subject, well, maybe Jefferson won't play for the Vikings because he knows they're going to suck, and he'll go somewhere else. That's how you're going to have a lot of money. Oh, no, Jefferson will never leave the Vikings. He's too dedicated. Okay, well, whatever. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to actually dig into it and take a look at it, because these people are all these people are obnoxious. So anyway, and I'm really enjoying the music at the end of the podcast. It's great. Thanks a lot for that. Have a good day. Go Pack, go. Bye.
Can I just say how annoying it is? I hate when you're trying to have a discussion, argument, whatever you want to call it, and people they think they have a really good response to something because they basically changed the subject. If you're saying we're going to have so much money, and you're like, well, you have to pay Jefferson. Well, we can afford that. I know you can afford. Who said you can't afford that? Who's talking about that? Why are you talking about that? Who said anything about that? That's not the point. How can you not follow along here? My Lord, again, I'm in no way, shape, or form do I think I am the tip of the spear when it comes to things like intelligence. There are engineers and people out there doing stuff. You know, that's the whole thing, like with this AI thing. I'm really intrigued by it. But I'm also really intimidated by it, because as soon as I dip my toe in and I listen to people that really know the subject start talking about the subject, it's like, I don't belong here. These are not my people, right? But still, it's like, I don't know how you can't put two and two together and figure out that just such basic stuff. Well, we can afford them. And I know that was just some random, but that kind of stuff happens all the time. Who said you can't afford him? That's not what anybody was just talking about. What conversation are you having with yourself right now? I don't even know what's going on. The point is, you're making things up in your head that you're going to have $130 million in cap space or whatever nonsense is built up in your brain. I don't even know where you're getting that from. Because even today, if you never paid anybody, from what I can tell, you're going to have about $85 million in cap space, I think was the number. That's pretty close to half of what it is you've built up in your mind. So I don't know if it's like, well, we're going to cut these people or what. So you're going to cut people to get more money and then not pay anybody. I don't know. I don't know who's telling you $130 million. Also, I might add, and I've said this before, having a lot of money is not a good thing. That might sound counterintuitive, but you know how many which teams have the most money? All the really bad teams, because it means they don't have any good players. The only thing, you have a lot of money because your money isn't tied up in players that are good at football. So being excited that you have a lot of money is stupid, because all that's going to happen is you're going to lose all that money trying to pay to supplement the lack of talent that you have. And the problem is, you're going to do it in a very inefficient manner, which is free agency. Whereas we might spend $20 million on one of our own players, you're going to spend $20 million on somebody else's player, and that's going to come at an inflated number. There's also, generally, they're going to be older players, which is not as good. They're not going to be familiar players, and there's a higher miss rate. You know how I know? Because they hit free agency. If you compare the players that got contracts compared to the players that didn't get contracts, hit the market, and then signed somewhere else, I guarantee you there's a higher miss rate. I'm not just trashing free agents across the board. A lot of them pan out. They're good football players, etc. But I mean, this is such a dumb thing. You shouldn't aspire to have lots of money. You should aspire to have lots of good players that suck up all your money so that you don't have any money. That should be your aspirations. But yeah, you know, again, I spent a lot of time on the Bears, started in a little bit on the Lions. I struggle with the Vikings, so it had to happen at some point. Kyle, what's going on? Kyle? Kyle, you there? Kyle, let's try this one. Kyle? 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 Nothing? Okay. It's very random. Back-to-back calls with not like all the 3 minutes used up, like 1:07 and 2:52. Super random. Steve, what's going on?
Hey, Ryan, Steve up in Alaska. I got a call here because you made me laugh, man. I was listening to the Packernet After Dark that you put up a day late, I believe it seemed like. And you did that whole little bit there at the end where you just started naming off businesses, because you did the Home Depot thing and then Home Depot started advertising.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'll just mention your name and I'll get paid. In a minute you did it, man. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Idiocracy.
Yeah.
There's the one guy that works with the government, and after every sentence or every statement that he makes, he says, "Brought to you by Carl Jr." And Luke Wilson's character asks him, "Why do you keep saying that?" Because they pay me. What's wrong with you? You don't like money? So I did that call in and say thank you very much because that was hilarious. And you made me laugh and you made my day start off really good. All right, man. Take it easy. Bye.
Wonder if any of that worked, by the way. I don't know.
Hey, Ron, it's Jersey Mike. I'm on my way back home from work. Listening to Packernet After Dark. I didn't realize you were hurting up that bad for calls. I was trying to, not take over the airways because I know I can do that. So, yeah, I was trying not to, but I don't want to listen to the same guy from Wisconsin talk constantly. But I wanted to talk about something that really piqued my interest. And I've kind of been saying some kind of version of it, and y'all might have been just blowing it off like, oh, this guy, Jersey Mike, always on about New Jersey, always talking New Jersey up, and blah, 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 blah. Ignore my truck, I don't wear a seatbelt. Anyway, so I was thinking back to when I really became a Packers fan, because you had said something that reminded me of something. So Vince Lombardi, about Tony Campanile, I guess, part of he remembering, being next to where Lombardi used to coach and coming up in Jersey, and the fact that he was a Jersey boy, that a lot of people don't remember that, and, I used to go up the Jersey Turnpike, towards New York, and it's right outside of New York. Actually, so if you're on your way to New York on the Jersey Turnpike from, let's say, Central Jersey, and you're going up north, you're going to pass MetLife Stadium, the Meadowlands, which is Giants and Jets, and then halfway in between that and the Lincoln Tunnel or the GW is Vince Lombardi rest area. And for the longest time, I was like, it makes no damn sense. Vince Lombardi is not from Jersey, and how is the Packers got some crap over here? How is it our team, is relevant in my state? And I was thinking back, and I really started to remember when I actually became a Packers fan. And it was the year where Terrell Davis and John Elway, Davis with a migraine, faked everybody out. Nobody thought the ball was going to Davis, and he went to Davis for a touchdown. And I saw that game, and I started to really believe in the Packers. And when there was a special on that off season, and it was about Vince Lombardi, and I just remember them going full on in depth about everything about Lombardi. I got a call right back. Hold on.
Alrighty, go ahead and do that.
It's Jersey Mike. So everybody's, on this biography or this special on Lombardi is talking about how Vince Lombardi came up from nothing in New Jersey, poor Irish immigrant family, which is kind of my family. Part of it is Irish. They grew up in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and part of it is Polish, who grew up in the Bronx. But anyway, and I really started to remember that little child me just knew about the attitude that Lombardi had, and I loved it, and I loved everything about Vince Lombardi. I mean, let's be real, man. Lombardi was the guy. He was. So anyway, and I've always been spewing and espousing that we need more Jersey boys. How New Jersey produces some top tier talent when it comes to, players. And, Rashawn Gary comes to mind. Like, those are the kinds of guys we've got out there. And now that I'm finding out there's more boys on the squad that are from Jersey. And then you talk about the coaching staff, and I think really where it amplifies itself is in the coaching staff. Man, Campanile, man, I knew exactly what he was talking about when he said, imagine your sister, or your daughter, or your mother, or your lover, or whoever the heck, being stolen, and somebody's running down the street with them, and you going after them. That's pursuit. Man, I live that every day in New Jersey. Hey, it wasn't anybody stealing anything other than my weed, but like, let's be real, that's important too. And like all the guys I grew up with, we always talked about how hard and how aggressive we are, and like our coaches didn't care how hard we went in practice. I broke our frickin' starting running back's collarbone on a kickoff drill. They had the starting running back in on a kickoff drill and speed in middle school, 8th grade year, and they were telling us to go 100%, and I killed our starting running back, and you know what? They didn't care. That's the kind of football that we play in Jersey. But hold on, it goes even more. I got to call back again. This is crazy. I'm taking over the airways, baby.
All right, you do that.
Third and final one. So you get the attitude and the aggression, and we're from New Jersey. We'll knock your teeth out. We don't care. And part of the thing about Jersey is, now don't get me wrong, I moved to Texas because I'm a gun-loving American. But part of the thing in Jersey is you really don't worry about who's got guns. You never worried about that. You knock somebody's lights out. You walked up to them with an oak baseball bat or something like that. You didn't have to worry about brass knuckles. People weren't pulling knives on each other. Jersey, at least in my opinion, is one of the last bastions of like Mike Tyson's. People like to run their mouth. They just never know what it's like to get punched in the face. In New Jersey, you run your mouth, you get punched in the face. It actually happens. I've watched it. Legitimately, we had teenage girls in our high school who were throwing girls down frickin' 3-4 flights of stairs, hard marble stairs in the school, then getting to the bottom of them and beating the crap out of them while 3 or 4 people watched, and then picking her up with a belt and strangling her. Like that's the kind of people we dealt with in New Jersey. And that was one of the cheerleaders, by the way. And then the thing that really comes out and stands out to all of it, you got the attitude, but it's the mindset, right? Man, people in Jersey are on top of each other. We're so close to each other. Like, you think New York City's bad? Yeah, New York City's bad, but it's only in the city. Jersey is every inch of Jersey. Basically, everybody's on top of each other. And you know what we got to do? We all got to be better than one another. We all got to be stronger. We all got to be tougher. We all got to be smarter. We all got to run our mouths better. We all got to be better drivers. And we talk endless amounts of crap to each other if we're not good enough. So here's the deal, right? When you're a coach in Jersey, it ain't about how hard your football players are, because we got hard football players. They're everywhere. Nah, it's about how smart you are. And these guys, they understand the philosophy of aggression, but they know also what it looks like, how to get it done. There's a reason that New Jersey ranks among the highest when it comes to education level in the country, even for people who are immigrants. Super high education level. Mohammed Sanu is a product of our system. I went to school with him, by the way. That's as close as you're getting to know him where I'm from. And that's what it comes down to. You've got some really, really highly intelligent, competitive guys who have done nothing but eat, sleep, and breathe football at all times. And they're turning around, and they're going to be coaching for the Green Bay Packers. Tell me how that doesn't get you in. Tell me how that doesn't get you pumped. Jersey's in here, boys. Last time we were in here, we brought home a couple of... They named a trophy after us, for God's sake. Go, Pack, go!
I had to look that thing up about New Jersey being a good school system. Turns out it's true, according to the robot anyways. Looking at the ACT scores, which I don't know how many states do ACT. It's kind of funny because Wisconsin, Minnesota, all that, they do SAT, but I grew up in Illinois. We did ACT, so I guess it's kind of like it's unusual because everybody around here talks about SAT scores. I'm like, I didn't think I don't even know what that means. I know ACT. But Jersey has the third highest ACT scores. Interestingly enough, highest SAT scores, Wisconsin. Didn't know that either. I thought Wisconsin had supposedly bad schools. I knew it wasn't as bad as the schools I went to in Illinois, but I feel like people complain about the schools around here. I don't know. Hilariously, though, I was looking at it, I was like, where does Illinois rank? And I was like, 20th. And I'm like, 20th? Surprised it's that good because the schools sucked. And I was like, okay, where does U46 rank among Illinois schools, which is where I went? It is ranked as the 163rd best school district in Illinois. I didn't even know you had that many school districts. Specifically, U46 has been noted for its challenges and test scores, with only 19% of students proficient in math and 20% in reading. By the way, if I sound like I'm anti-school, it's because that's where I went to school. So then if you look at U46, I said, what if U46 was a state? Where would it rank? And it's like, it's at the bottom. Okay, good to know. Anyways, yeah, I get it. I understand. I think we generally understand, maybe not in depth, but we kind of get how Jersey people operate. Definitely excited to have that culture over here, you know, because it's kind of like I talked about before. I mean, there's a difference between talking about it and living, breathing, understanding, all that kind of stuff. I mean, everybody, if you ask any coach in the NFL, do you want your players to be tough? The answer is going to be yes. But you have to do certain things if you want to instill that. And again, there are certain schemes, there are certain philosophies, there are certain coaching styles that are just not necessarily conducive. So you can say yes all you want, but you're not necessarily going to produce that. You know, and let's Matt LaFleur. I'm not trying to pick on him. I like Matt LaFleur. He seems like a really smart guy. He doesn't exude tough. He seems nice. I'm a little worried, honestly, he's a bit of a pushover based on what we've seen. I don't think that he necessarily produces that. Not that I necessarily care, because again, offense and defense is a little different. Would it be nice to have a tough offense? Sure. It's not as necessary in my mind as it is defense. I cannot think of a single defense that was really good simply based on scheme. I don't see that necessarily as a thing. Offense, all the time. The Packers have been labeled as soft since forever, and they've been one of the top offenses, and they've had garbage defenses. I think that there's a direct correlation with all that information. So I'm hopeful that there is an overall culture change, not just a scheme change, not just, well, you know, we're going to blitz more, we're going to play more man, which kind of gives an impression or a, you know, stylistically, we're going to be a more tough defense. It's got to get deeper than that, man, down to the bones. And no, it doesn't just mean tough talk either. It's got to be everything. It's got to permeate everything. It's what we do. It's who we are. From the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, the way we coach, the language that we coach with, the scheme that we play with, every single feature, facet, aspect, everything exudes what we want to be. And I kind of feel like we had that. The examples that I gave were, you know, listen to when these guys came to the podium, and immediately when they start regurgitating sort of those phrases. You know how there's always those phrases like "we fence," which is the dumbest pile of crap ever? You want to know why I don't think Matt LaFleur is necessarily a quote-unquote tough guy? Because he allows things like "we fence" to be used. Don't say "we fence." You sound stupid. I don't care if that came from Bisaccia and he's supposedly a tough guy. That sounds stupid. Stop saying it. It's "we fence" because we work together as a team. Bro, shut up. I'm not saying that. I'm never going to refer to it as "we fence." You can kick me off this team, but I'm not saying it. "We fence." Good Lord. But you listen to these coaches, even the guys that have been here for a while, but now there's like a new sort of language and there's new emphasis brought down from Hafley. It sounds like a Patton speech. By the way, if you haven't seen the movie Patton, you suck and you need to stop everything you're doing and go watch that movie. It's funny because they actually really toned down the language in that speech. Like a lot. Here's a part of that message. I'll recreate it. The actual words using good old AI here.
I don't want to get any messages saying, "I am holding my position." We are not holding a damn thing. Let the Germans do that. We are advancing constantly, and we are not interested in holding on to anything except the enemy's. We are going to twist his and kick the living out of him all of the time. Our basic plan of operation is to advance and to keep on advancing regardless of whether we have to go over, under, or through the enemy. We are going to go through him like crap through a goose, like through a tin horn.
But that part of the speech, which I didn't know the real part of it, I know it from the movie, but we're going to kick the crap out of him all the time. I love that so much. But that's what I'm talking about. That kind of message that is just, what are we doing today? Well, you see that guy over there? You're going to beat him. Then you're going to beat him some more. Then you're going to kick him. Then you're going to start stomping on him. You're not going to stop doing that. Okay, anything else? Nope, that's it. That's all we're doing. Okie dokie. But appreciate the New Jersey lesson there, Jersey Mike. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good rest of your night. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.